don't know what you're saying.
Today,
You want to introduce it?
Dolly Dealer.
Or
Right,
just pop
yeah. Ollies Atum, welcome to Astrotheology Part 2 with the lovely Gary Reynolds. So I'm going to hand you over to Gary.
Thank you, my darling.
Mwah. It's all right.
Good evening, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening.
I'd like to tell you a massive story. Thank you very much. I've got a story to tell you. It's a story about us and the will of God. This is the will of God. We start the day here in Aries. The word Aries means to arise. This is where Horus starts his day. Horus also means to arise, because it's on the horizon. Pay attention to the words here. The day starts at 6 a.m. when Horus rises. He rises in Aries. Aries is the ram, R-A-M, and it right ascends. The sun right ascends to the meridian. As it starts its day here in Aries at 6 a.m, Aries is a fire sign. It's also a cardinal sign. As you can see here, we have the cardinal cross. Next we have Taurus. Taurus is fixed because the season is fixed at that point. The temperatures stay roughly the same depending on. So it's a fixed, and it's Earth. Taurus, Earth. Next we move on to Gemini. Gemini is an air sign, and it's mutable. So it mutates as the sun rises every day, once a year, because the day mimics the year. As it rises, it starts to mutate into the Tropic of Cancer at 12 p.m. and on the 21st of June, the summer solstice. Next we have Cancer. It's a water sign. You've done this wrong here, Trace, but don't worry. Cancer, sorry, I've got that wrong, haven't I? That's Cancer. Leo is a fire sign, and it's fixed. The day is fixed. It's the hottest part of the day, the lion. Here we have Virgo, which is mutable, and it's an earth sign. Yes. Then we have Libra, which is an air sign, which is cardinal. And it goes into a fixed position of Scorpio, which is a water sign. And then it mutates again in Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. And then into Capricorn, which is an earth sign. Capricorn is represented by the goat, because he climbs the hill to spring. As you can see, the sun will... This happens at the 21st of December and at 12 p.m. As I say, the day mimics the year. Comes up, as the sun comes up and rises, it comes into Aries, which is the lamb. The lamb also climbs the hill to summer, or to midday. This word here, astro, when people mention the word astro, they automatically think of the sun, the moon, the stars. No, astro means light, because everything comes from light. The word ology means the word. So you have the word of astrotheology, or the word of light. Here you see astronomy. This is also the study of the moon, the stars, but it's the written word of light. Now from there, what I'd like to do now is show you this map here. I don't know if you can see that on your screen. This is a map by Frederick de Witt, 1666. It shows you here the sine wave, the sinusoidal wave, the sin of Eve. Your constellations are here. So you have Aries, Taurus, so and so, until you get to Libra, which is here, which is totally balanced. That's why Libra's the scales. Then the sun dips down the wave. This is the path of the sun. It's called the ecliptic. Until it meets its end journey in Pisces, where the whole starts again. The year starts again, the day starts again. Yeah? The year mimics the day. I'd like to show you this on this prediction, and this will make perfect sense. Can we have the Last Supper?
Last Supper.
Yes, please.
On it.
I'm getting my Last Supper, people. Get the crisps out. That's it, Ken. Ken's got the idea. So if you, hope you understand this now, how this all works. Fixed, mark, mutable,
There's
and cardinal.
4 fixed points.
There's four fixed points. As you can see here, you have Cancer, Aries, Libra, Capricorn. These in the middle, such as Taurus, Gemini, Leo, Virgo, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Aquarius and Pisces, are what they call cross-quarter days. Yeah, that's just the name given. They're cross-quarter days. These are the cardinal points of Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn. Yeah. Once Tracy's got that up on the screen, it will make a lot more sense. And I'll show you one of the greatest paintings that has ever been painted.
Guys, I can't remember how I did it now.
She can't remember how she did it now. I do apologise, people. I'll let you get that picture up before I reveal it. Also on here, I'm going to just take my notes because of the dates. There's certain festivals. You have Groundhog Day, 29th. Sorry, I'll reverse on that one. I'll have to put my glasses on. This is Sukkot on the 29th of September. It's a Jewish festival. It's the Feast of the Tabernacles. I don't know if you've heard that. You have other events here. Obviously, you have Easter. You have Christmas Day. New Year's Day to the Gregorian calendar, not the Mayan calendar. Also here you have Sakara, which is the 27th of March, which is the Japanese cherry blossom. It's when the cherry blossom arrives, you know you're in spring.
True New Year.
The true New Year, absolutely. So, which is known as the Lamb of God, because it's pure white. Yeah? So this happens at this event. You've got Groundhog Day, which I think is in November, if my notes are correct. Sorry, February 2nd is Groundhog's Day. Each of these also have what they call ruling planets and exalting planets. I'll only go through a few. I won't go through the whole 12. It will take a little bit too long. In Aries, you have Mars, Martial, Maritime, M-A-R. Look out for that word. Mars is the ruler of Aries. Sun is the exalter. This actually means that, to make it basic, is Mars's energy is more powerful than the Sun at this point. Yeah? You have Uranus and Capricorn in Aquarius. You've got Venus in Virgo, and so on and so forth. Please just look them up. I don't want to spend time going through all those. Here you have the Jewish festival of Yom Kippur, when they celebrate Yom Kippur. The Jews also celebrate, as I said, the Feast of the Tabernacle. I'm just going to have another quick look, sorry. It's gone again.
No.
Oh, right. This is the 40 days of Lent. Lent means to lengthen. So the sunlight, the heat, the warmth, As the sun lengthens till it reaches the Tropic of Cancer, then the sun will drop down. There's loads of nursery rhymes, all your old nursery rhymes. Jack and Jill is all on here. I'll explain those all later. What else is on there? What else can I say about it? I'm just waiting for this picture to come up.
It's coming. It was up there, but it went again.
Each sign represents us. If you look at me, I am the lamb. I was born on the 23rd of March. If you look at my face, I have a very long face, very long nose, because I am the lamb. Yeah? People who tend to have very round faces tend to be more Leo. Yeah? Another trait, and I'll go by mine because obviously I've studied myself more than the rest of you. Aryans are always in a hurry. We're always in a hurry. We speak all the time. Look at me. Yeah, we speak all the time. Also, the trait is where the sun was the day you were born, the time you were born. The time I was born, the sun was in Leo. Leo is very flamboyant. It's the hottest part of the day. Come look at me, which is me. And we all know that if you know me. Yeah, I'm centre of attention. Don't listen to him, listen to me. So you take on the traits. Gemini, lovely gentleman in front of me here, Jason. He's a typical Gemini. He tends to always keep his hands close. And he's mutable. In other words, being mutable, he can adapt to any situation. He can mutate to any situation.
What's a Virgo then?
Virgo likes to feed, because that Virgo is the harvest. You plant the seed here in Taurus, because Taurus is the ball. You take the ball, you plough the land, you plant the seed. The harvest is now ready in Virgo. Yeah? As you come down to Capricorn, this is when the bread is ready. This is Bethlehem, the house of bread. Because the bread is ready in Bethlehem. Most Virgos like to feed people. Yeah? They like to feed, be hosts. So our traits are within this will of God. When you meet people that look very similar to you, why? Because they were born roughly in the same sign. My moon was in Pisces. Pisces is a very, very emotional sign. The moon is a very emotional. It's Mother Moon. She's emotional. Yeah? So I can be a very emotional person. I can cry very easily. Yeah? In certain situations. And it has been witnessed by a couple of you. So there you go. That's my weakness, shall we say. That's my flamboyance. And that is my energy, my power. Don't stop talking. Always in a hurry. Because I'm in a hurry to get here. Where Capricorn is in a hurry to get there. And this cycle continues daily and yearly, and the picture's up. Anything else I can talk about here? I don't know if there's anybody got any questions about that before I move on. Now I'll show you the greatest painting, in my opinion, that has ever been painted. This will explain this map and the sidal sordal wave, the sin of Eve, the path of the sun. If you look at this side here, they all sit in one side of the table. When do you ever have a dinner party where everyone sits one side of the table? So it's telling you straight away. The gentleman on the end has got his hands on the table because he's at the head of the table. Yeah? He's Aries. To come along here, you'll see Jason, Gemini. He's got his hands close, got both his hands up. Here, I don't know if you can see it, but you have Scorpio, not Scorpio, sorry, Cancer. Cancer is the backstabber. If you just look here, he's got a knife. I don't know if you can see that in his hand. Yeah? And he's pointing at Venus's throat. Yeah? The reason why he's pointing at Venus's throat, he's telling you she is the only female. She doesn't have an Adam's apple. Yeah? As you come along, you can see Scorpio. He's got his tail pointing up in the air. Michelangelo was telling us. Yeah? Libra. Libra are the scales. The scales of balance that sits here in the middle. Perfect balance. And then you have the rest of the characters up till you get to Capricorn on the end here. If you look at Capricorn, he looks a lot older than the rest of them. And if you also look at Capricorn, look how long the face is. Because he is the goat. Goats have long faces, just like Aryans do. He's also known as Old Father Time. That's why he looks older. Because Saturn's orbit. Saturn rules in Capricorn. Yeah? Saturn is also known as the Black Planet, the Great Inhibitor, the Grim Reaper that comes knocking on your door the day you die. Yeah? He's the destroyer. Nothing grows in winter. He destroys it. His energy kills it all. But that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because from death comes growth. Yeah? Way of the world, way of nature. This gentleman in the middle, we all know this gentleman in the middle. He is the Sun. S-O-N-S-U-N. And I'll explain what these words mean later and the radicals and how letters are interchangeable, splittable and divisible. He's also, if you take note, he's also wearing red and blue. I won't give this away at this moment. This will be later in the presentation and you'll understand why he is wearing red and blue. On the table is the wine. You see the wine? Where's the wine? Well, the wine is actually in Libra. Because the sun, S-O-N-S-U-N, creates the rain that makes the grape grow, that creates the wine. Also on the table you see bread. It's not actually bread that you eat. It's called the manna from heaven, and that will be later on in the presentation. Oh, sorry, Trace. Hello. Your rubber's come off.
Story of my life, that.
Story of your life. Her rubber's come off.
Mary.
We will call her Mary Magdalene.
Oh. Yeah.
The Virgin Mary. There's a big story there. So that's basically that part. What I have noticed today, which I've seen this picture so many times and studied it, I never noticed this until today. Through this little window, there are pyramids. So it is telling you again, there's another story there. Do. I think that'll do for now, and then we move on to I'll move on to...
Do you want me to put the board back up?
Yes, please, Trace. And
Debbie.
And I need Debbie, and I need it cleaned if that's possible, or I'll clean it, or somebody else clean it, as long as it's clean.
Debbie.
Debbie.
Debbie McGee.
Debbie McGee. Anyone remember? Anybody remember Debbie McGee?
You want it all off, yeah? The wheel.
Yeah, please. Yeah, it can always be spoke about later again. Leave the word astrology up there. Remove fixed mark, cardinal mutable.
Yeah, I did that earlier. The countdown.
As I say, this is a very quick presentation. It's only scratching the surface. If you want to know more about astrotheology, please visit Santos Bonacci, and he'll give you this in far greater detail and a better presentation.
Mr. Astrotheology himself.
Mr. Astrotheology himself, and literally. Santos, sun, can you see the word sun again there? This will all make sense in a minute when I speak about radicals, divisible and interchangeable letters. This is as you see, his name's Bon. Bon is another name for the sun. Yeah?
I can't see.
Right.
Here. So this.
Sorry, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just like putting it in my phone.
Okay, I'll let you do that and then I'll carry on. As I say, everything is about light. The whole alphabet is about light. So if you look at the alphabet, you can do it if you want.
Yeah, I've done it now.
I don't write out the whole alphabet, it's not worth it. I'll have L-U-M. Christos with a Q. Q-U-R-S-T. And I also have UV. Can you see now how the alphabet is all light? L-U-M is lumen. Lumen means light. The Christos, Christ is light. As you can see there, UV, all light. So everything comes from this word, astrotheology, that comes from another word that I'll explain in a second. How I'd like to explain radicals to you. Yes, please, Trace. Thank you very much. As I say about radicals, radicals are interchangeable letters. You have the letter A. A is the principal, because that's where everything starts in the alphabet, with the letter A. You can't have any other letters behind it unless you've got the letter A in the beginning. Just like the number system. You have one. One is the principal. Yeah? I'll do that bigger.
Straight.
Yeah, I'll do that a lot bigger. There you go. Don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, I'll do it with that one.
Brilliant.
Wonder where that other
Oh,
black-
that's better. Look at that.
wonder where that other black pen's gone.
Everything's blue. Even my eyes. Right. This is the Trinity. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Osiris, Isis, Horus. And this goes on and on and on. Everything's a Trinity.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Can you see that? The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Osiris, Isis, Horus. I can go on. Who else you've got there? You've got Krishna. You've got Radharani and Balarama.
Brahman. You say?
Brahman, yeah. Brahman, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it's all a total trinity. Every letter can be split and divided.
Is
I'll
A
ex-
the only one you can't split?
Sorry? A is the only one that can't be split.
Yeah, I guess.
Sorry.
Radicals, yeah.
No, just R. And an L, please, if you would. As I say, each letter is splittable, so if I look at this, can I do this?
Yeah,
first?
take that.
It'll be a lot quicker. You've got Adam. Excuse my handwriting, you've got Adam. Well, Adam is the atom. Can you see this? How they are splittable and divisible. As I say, the only letter you can't split is the Trinity, the letter A.
What do you mean by split it? Like cut it?
No, in other words,
It can't be interchanged with any
Swapped.
other
it can't be changed.
letter.
It can't be split, it can't be moved, it's solid.
Every other letter on the alphabet can pretty much, but A is the only one that can't exist. Alpha primitive.
It's an alpha primitive, yeah.
Okay.
Indecisive, you can't.
It can't be
Can't split
split.
the A.
So, what I'd like you all to do now is a little experiment with yourself. If you all say to yourself, say the letter D.
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 And then
Now all say the letter T.
T.
Did you all see where your tongue went?
Same place.
It all went in the same place and you made the
T.
same
T.
vibration. Vibration is light.
So for D, for D.
Yeah? If you say the letter F and the letter V, you will see your teeth will meet your bottom
Yeah.
lip.
I thought it was for the kids.
F and V. So the F and the V, they're all splittable. The two most important letters in the alphabet is the R and the L, the rhotic and the lateral. We here in England, we speak laterally. A Russian will speak rotary, like a Scotsman. Yeah, it's rhotic and the lateral. These two are the most important two letters because they're interchangeable, and there is another reason why it's L and R, and I'll explain that later on. As I say, everything is indivisible. A Chinaman will say fried rice.
Well, rubbish.
Yeah,
Rubbish.
We'll say fried rice.
Or rubbery.
We will say fried rice.
Rubbery.
It's all a vibration, an energy, a disturbance. I'll talk about that later. So if you understand how all these words work, I can go into loads of other words if you wish. You've got the O and the M. It's an Egyptian chant. When you do this, when you say you'll notice your lips will close. So you're cutting it off. You can't go and keep your mouth open. Try it. You'll be out of breath. Yeah, see? That's right. The other one is the Hindu chant of On. The tongue will hit the roof of the mouth, close the vibration. On. Yeah? Also with the letter N, they're restriction words. This is just a little bit of information. So any word beginning with N is a restriction word. No, nothing, not, no one, nowhere. Yeah? So
I was going to say knickers, but that's what
the alphabet didn't knickers, yeah. The alphabet didn't come about by chance. It had to be those particular letters.
Is in the Hebrew alphabet, it has 22 letters.
The Hebrew has
Interestingly
22.
enough, you have 22 bones in your skull as well.
22 bones in your skull. You also have, I can do that with the fingers. If you look at the fingers, the constellations are in the fingers too. If you look, these are called phalanges. So where your knuckles bend, yeah, you'll see the creases in your fingers. These are called phalanges. If you count them, you've got 12. Yeah. It's all there.
Yeah,
Has to be.
that's a new one.
It's all there.
Yeah.
It's all in your body.
Yeah.
No matter how you like it. Talk about also in your body, it's all the planets and the constellations. I'll get that brought down again, and I'll go back to radicals in a second. As long as people understand what I mean by indivisible and splittable letters. All around you is words. Don't matter where you look, words are the most important thing. Yeah? Because the world was created through the word. So the word must be the most important thing. The word has been corrupted, as we all know, because of the mess we're in.
Yeah, inverted.
Yeah? All inverted, everything
It's
goes
Sonic.
backwards like
Yeah.
George Michael. Does the moon walk backwards on a checkerboard
No,
floor?
MJ.
There is a reason for the checkerboard floor, and I'll get back to that later. As I said, let's have a look again at the Last Supper, the constellations. The constellations are all in us. At the head of the table, as I said, is Aries, the ram, because here under the fontanelle you have the cerebrum. Yeah? Here is Taurus, Taurus the bull, in the cerebellum, the cerebellum. It's here. Here are the twins of Gemini, twin hands, twin lungs. Cancer is in the chest. People get chest, women get breast cancer, cancer's in the chest. Leo is in the heart. Richard the lion heart, the longitudinal pulse wave energy. Yeah? Here we have Virgo. Virgo's in the belly. This is why Buddha rubs his belly, because the harvest is ready in Virgo. So that's why Buddha has that big fat belly.
That's really
Mine's
good.
getting bigger. Yeah.
Hope this all makes
It's getting
sense.
there.
Where was we? We have here Libra. The scales. You lose a kidney, you're out of balance. Yeah? Here we have the hips. This is hippo. Hippo means horse. Horse, hips. This is how we walk. As we come down the line, we've got the kneecaps.
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we have Aquarius, the water bearer. When women get to a certain age or pregnant, they get water retention here in their feet because of Aquarius being the water bearer. Yeah? Because Aquarius being the water bearer. And if you look at your feet, if you move your feet, see how your feet move? They are the two fish of Pisces. Yeah? And then the whole system starts again. Pisces being the fisherman of men. Fish live in schools. This is why you go to school.
Indoctrination.
The Christian symbol
He's a fish.
is a fish. This is all syncretism, people. The holy science. Yeah? Where was I? There's the fish. And it all goes back. All the planets are within you, the 7 visible planets. The moon is here in the groin. As I said, it controls our emotions.
So why 7 above, 7 below?
7 above, 7 below, which is another story,
Yeah, 'cause
which
there's
I'll get
one
back
more,
onto
isn't
later.
Yeah.
Which I will mention later. You've got Moon, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Saturn's at the top. The reason why Saturn's at the top, old Father Time here has such a long orbit. The Grim Reaper. As I said, he's the most powerfulest of all. Yeah? What I'd also like to tell you here, and this might shock a load of people, who Jesus really is and truly is. If I go through this, I'll put my glasses on because I can never remember the order of this and I want to get it correct.
Julius Caesar, isn't it?
Well, let's say, who made themselves Jesus Christ? Well, it was Julius Caesar. Yeah? JC again, you see?
Yeah.
Right? The story there. Jesus gets betrayed by Brutus. Yeah? If I put this back up, this will make more sense. Oh, we rubbed it off, didn't we? What a wally. Must stop
Shall we
smoking.
get a picture of it?
Yes, please, if you can,
Okay,
Trace.
if you take that a seat.
You know the picture I want the will.
I know what one.
Yeah, lovely.
I've got it there as well, Barry.
Oh God, yeah, look, it's on my bloody t-shirt. I've had it on all day. And now I forgot what I was going to say. No, I prefer it on the...
Julius Caesar. should
Yeah,
be
Julius Caesar made himself Jesus Christ. Jesus was betrayed by Brutus. Yeah? What was I going to say? Bloody hell. Oh, and Julius Caesar was betrayed by... He was Brutus, yeah. Sorry, I got that the wrong way around. I do
No, you're talking
apologise.
about Jesus being betrayed.
Right. Yeah, he gets betrayed. It's all in the words. It's all in the names. I've lost track. Sorry, people. Right, Brutus. Sorry. Julius Caesar gets betrayed by Brutus. Jesus Christ gets betrayed by Judas. Can you see the word? Judas, Brutus. Same thing. If Tracy can get that up.
Computer's on the go, so bear with me.
Right.
Needs a rocket on the left, Trace.
This represents Scorpio, the Tau that stabbed Jesus in the thigh, sending Jesus to winter. Remember, Jesus is just another name for the sun. Remember the radicals?
Pick one.
I will in a sec, give me a sec. If you look at the radicals, you've got S.
Where's the one from this morning?
S-U-N, sun, S-O-N. So there's your radicals. Yeah? The U becomes an O, you've got the sun. Jesus and Christ are two separate things, but they are still one, and I'll explain that later.
It's here somewhere.
Hang on, Trace, I'm not looking at the board. Oh, well, anyone to do? That'll do, that one. That one here. You got this one. Come down, come down, come down, come down, come down. This one, yeah. That's it. No, what do you do? There you go, click. No, you've gone up. Come down, click. That's it.
that one.
Follow it.
Capricorn's in the wrong place.
Yeah, don't worry too much about that. Don't forget the zodiac does this. Yeah? So Aries is not always bang there. Yeah? Hello? Oh, here we go. This will do me. This will do me if everyone can see this.
Yeah?
Where are we? Where are we? The Capricorn, Sagittarius. There's Scorpio. So Brutus, Judas stabs Jesus in the thigh and he sends him to winter, which is Capricorn. From Capricorn, you have Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the horseman, the bowman. And he shoots Achilles in the heel. Well, who is Achilles? Achilles is just another name for the sun. So he shoots him, Sagittarius with the bow, sends him up through winter until he comes to the spring equinox on the 21st in Aries. So the story is all there. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
All makes sense, yeah? Right, let's go on to the next part. Where was I? That was the radicals. I can go back to the radicals. We've had the alphabet, radicals, Adam, blah, 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 blah. Have you ever wondered why you have a sister that comes from Manchester? Because everything is light. Stars, Manchester.
Star.
It's all astro.
S-T-E-R.
It's all light.
Interchangeable.
If you was a good boy at school or a good girl at school, what would you get? You'd get a gold star.
Did you know berry means star?
Got banksters, gangsters, rapsters, trapsters.
There you go. The list is endless.
Stars everywhere.
Stars everywhere. Yeah?
You could be a wankster.
You can be a wankster, as Bones just pointed out. That's not like a typical Capricorn, is it?
Gary.
Did
Did you know berry means star? Did you know berry means
I didn't know berry means star. Would you like to explain?
It does mean star.
Oh,
Like
Star.
Avebury.
yeah, it's all there.
Star.
It's all there. Everything,
Star.
everything comes from light. Because everything is a star. Superstar, sports star. It's all there. Yeah?
Pop star, yeah.
Pop star. So what's all this bloody star? Yeah?
We're stardust.
Because we're all stardust. Well, people say it's stardust, but did the cleaner forget to dust that morning? Bit like moon dust, isn't it? A non-existent entity. What I'd like to go on to now, I'll go back to the radicals in a while because it will make more sense. What I'd like to talk about actually is the 7 and the 12. Think how many things are 7. 7 days of the week. Yeah? Shout them out. Shout them out. 7 and 12. An alcoholic does a 12-step program. You're in school roughly 12 years. 12 people to a jury. 12 constellations to the will of God.
12 disciples.
12 disciples.
12 months.
The 12 apostles. The apostles.
You're a master.
This is a good one. The apostles are the postals. Where the sun stops. Or it doesn't stop. The sun travels through the apostles. There are 12 apostles. Yeah? So everything's 12. 12 is spiritual. Yeah? 7 is matter. You have 7 notes of the musical scale. You have 12 keys in music. Yeah? You also have 88 keys on a full-size piano. There's 88 constellations. Without the board, no worries. Each constellation sits within a 30 to 18 degree band. But the constellation is actually bigger than that. Yeah? I won't go into the deacons because that one complicates me a little bit. And look into Santos and Bonacci if you want to know about the deacons. What I'll move on to now is probably the greatest part of this presentation as far as I'm concerned. And this is what gives life, which is everything. I need to board and 2 yin and yangs.
2.
I want 1 yin and yang and another yin and yang.
Oh, 2.
Yeah, the black and white and the red and blue
Shall I
yin
put it
and
up
yang.
here?
Yes, please, Trace, whatever easy. Do you want that blue pen?
Yeah. I'm awkward.
Also, Jesus is known as Jupiter Zeus. Jesus. Jesus. Can you see the word? Because everything is in the words. Another name for Saturn is Seth. S-E-P-H. S-E-T-H. Same word. Seth.
I've forgotten.
So you put a Joe in front of Seth, who do you get? You get Joseph.
Look at his jumper, there's one on his jumper.
Yeah, it's like that, isn't it? Up that way. Oh, that way, yeah. Like an S.
Yeah, put an S in the middle of it, you'll get
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
Um,
I'll try and do it the opposite.
So you put a Joe in front of Seth, which is Saturn, old father time, you get Joseph. Saturn has a consort. In other words, Saturn has a feminine energy as well as a masculine energy.
Into colour
That, yes please, red and blue.
This one's blue.
That one's blue, top one's red.
It's the red, I've got my pen.
Yes please. And the other one's just obviously black and white. Joseph, sorry, put a Joe in front of Seth, you get Joseph. The feminine energy of Saturn is known as Rhea. Maria, Mother Maria. So now you can see where Jesus came from. Yeah? All makes sense in the words? He's also known as I say, Kronos, old father time, because of his journey he creates. This gentleman sitting here to my right is Ronan. He's a typical Capricorn. If you look at Ronan's face, if you can see it, he has a long face like mine because he is the goat that is climbing the hill of winter. And then I come along as an Aryan, as the lamb, and I take over and climb the rest. Yeah, until we get to the Tropic of Cancer, or when the sun is in its zenith, which is its highest point. Another name for Saturn is Set, because the sun sets every night in Libra. This is why we call it the sun sets. So Jesus, being the sun, has his crown taken.
Is that why we call it dawn as well?
And this is why we call it dawn. Yeah, absolutely. Fucking you, Ronan. Lost me. Also, as I say, Rhea, Mother Maria. This is why the sun sets in Libra. Because it is Seth. Seth takes Jesus' crown. So Saturn takes Jesus' crown. And crucifies him in Libra. And he also crucifies him in Capricorn. Yeah? So once a day in Libra, you'll see the sun tonight, and it will go into Libra, where his crown will be taken by the energy of Saturn. Also, what I'd like to say is why Saturn is at the top here.
Would it make sense that Saturn is the pineal gland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's Jupiter. That's Jupiter. Our names don't come about by chance. My name is Gary, G-A-R-Y. I was born in Aries. So with the radicals, the interchangeable letters, the G becomes an M, the Y is silent, the ruler of Aries is Mars, so I couldn't have been called anything else but Gary.
The
You
ram.
look like a
The Ram.
Yeah, M-I-R.
You look like a
You've been called more names than Gary.
But I've been called more names than Gary.
You're Aries as well, Gary.
Yeah, Rocket Man was one well, I'm not going to say it. Some fool was joking. I'm no Rocket Man. Where was I? Right, I'd like to show you the yin and the yang. This is very, very important. You might as well write it. You're a lot neater and tidier if people won't be able to read
Debbie's
it.
been summoned. Debbie McGee.
Yeah, spelling is not something I'm very good at. I'm good at casting spells on people because I could say 2 words to Tracy now and cast a spell upon her. And other words I could say to Tracy, you're the most beautiful thing I've seen today. Tracy would lay in bed tonight going, oh, what did Gary say? That was beautiful. Or I could say, you're a fat old tart. And then she'll want to smack me over the head with a frying pan. So words are very, very, very important to us all. Right, if we get back to this. This is digital, and I'll explain this. And this is analog. So,
I like that.
So digital, analog. I'll have a quick flick through here. Sorry about this, people. I'm not that brilliant at this. But if it gives you an insight, you must do your own homework. Sorry, can we... No, we don't. We leave it as it is. In the Christian world, in the Hindu world, should I say, sorry, this is known as Krishna. Pure black light. Stillness and rest. Total stillness and rest. His counterpart is Radharani. She's pure white. Mary Magdalene. Yeah? Mary Magdalene. Remember that word, it's very important.
To write it.
You can write Mary Magdalene or Magdalene there and it will make sense on the next part. This is pure white light and stillness and rest from which everything comes. You have an apple seed, it's at rest. You plant it in the soil, you add water, it starts to grow. So this is from stillness and rest. This is Mary Magdalene, pure white light. When these two become abrasive, they have a hybrid child. That hybrid child in Hinduism is called Belarama. Bel, L, electricity. So when these two become abrasive, it creates this. Electricity, vibratory. This is magnetism. See it in the word?
Magdalene.
Mag. So, yeah, you can. Magnetism, please, Joyce.
Oh.
And vibratory as well, if you wish.
Glad I'm not doing this. I couldn't spell out those words.
Vibratory.
And vibratory, yeah. Magnetism is a longitudinal pulse wave energy. Mag in Sanskrit means to move. So everything now going through us is going longitudinally. As this is going longitudinally against the dialectic, the stillness and rest, as I said, it creates the vibratory energy of electricity, which is light, which is everything we see. We see lightning in the sky. We see meteorites. We see asteroids. Asteroids and meteorites are not lumps of rock. There's no lumps of rock flying around us. There is no lumps of iron and ice. Yeah? It's a disturbance within the medium of oxygen and hydrogen. So when these two, as I say, become abrasive, they create the vibratory light that then disturbs the ether, which is the stillness and rest and everything else. There's no separation between these. No separation between these whatsoever. Because everything is one. We've got to remember this. Everything is one. Like ice, water and steam are all the same thing. They're not separate. They're just in different states of vibratory energy. As much as this book is vibrating at a different rate than I am, this board, these are all vibrating in different states of modality.
There's no separation.
There is no separation in nature whatsoever. Nature is so simple. So it's like, how can I explain this? The sun does not give off light. A light bulb does not emit light. Me hitting my hand with this book is not emitting any sound. What I'm doing is I'm creating a disturbance within the stillness and rest. So when you put your hi-fi speakers on and you hear your lovely music coming out, basically what it is a frequency vibration that is disturbing the oxygen and the hydrogen,
Perturbation.
which is called perturbation. Perturbates at a rate of induction. So I can talk about that if you wish. In a field modality, I'm going to have to look at this again. 'Cause
We're
I
going to
wanted
talk
it
about
fine.
if we took red shift, blue shift.
We can talk about red shift, blue shift, then I'll need a picture of the atom
I'm on it.
and traces on it. Have you noticed that everything's red and blue? You've got, I'll explain that bit, Trace, in a sec. Everything's red and blue. Boys, blue. Girls,
Yeah.
It's up there, guys.
pink. What's pink? Pink is a watered down red.
You've got red tap, blue tap.
And you go
Red
back
tap,
to-
blue
Blue
tap,
blood.
hot, cold, boy, girl.
Why
blue.
Krishna's depicted as blue as well. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's why Krishna's depicted as blue.
and then
The
you go-
Jesus in the, or the son in the Last Supper had
Yeah.
red and blue on.
If you looked at, when I showed you a picture of the Last
Jesus,
Supper, you had,
He was wearing red and blue.
he was wearing red and blue. Red and blue shift. I'll explain this now in this picture. Remember, I think conservatives are blue, or is conservative red? I don't know. I don't like politics.
Blue,
Conservative blue,
Labour red.
Labour red. No, yeah, yeah. So you have the Democrats and the Republicans. It's all red and blue. Red and blue shift, because this is what the atom does. This is what the torus field does. This is an atom. This is its torus field. Think of how many words you can think that end in tor. Actor, solicitor. I can go on and on and on with the word tor. Like a bell tower. A bell, ball, tower. A bell tower.
Bell, L, electricity.
Bell, L, electricity. Yeah. In Hindu cosmology, you'll see that elephants hold up the world.
Tour de France.
Why elephants? Because it's electricity that holds up the world.
You see, Indians are like elephants as well.
Yes.
That's their
Yeah. I mean, you've got Jesus, who's the sacred lamb. You've got Krishna, that's the cow herder.
Indians.
Why is Krishna predicted with a flute?
That's rude.
Because in Vedic cosmology, Krishna sung the world into existence. Yeah? In the Christian religion,
The word, obviously.
it's the word. Same thing, because it's all a vibratory energy. This atom creates the vibratory energy of red shift, blue shift, red shift, blue shift. This is where the L and the R from the radicals that I mentioned earlier come into play. Red shift, blue shift. If you look at blue, take away the B, L. Because if you say the word blue, L is very prominent. Yeah, after the B. So it says red shift, blue shift. This is doing this. Red shift is right turning. Centripetal. Going back into itself. Dum 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 dum. Yeah? So you have the blue shift and the red shift, the rhotic and the lateral. Yeah? Going back to the alphabet where radicals, all letters are divisible and splittable. This is also a prediction in Vedic cosmology, in the Vedic cosmology, in the Vedas. This here is what they call the land of Bhumandala.
Not me.
Be quiet
Yeah.
again.
This is Bhumandala, in the land of jabbered wheat. Can you see the dark bit? We live here. This is the land of jabbered wheat and Bhumandala. This is in the Vedic cosmology. And if you want to know anything about astrotheology or anything, go with the Vedics. Because, there we go. Good mail. Thanks, Ronan. Cheers, mate. One of the greatest books you will ever read. literally. This is everything I'm talking about now. Yeah. So get yourself a copy. It's a hard read, full of philosophy, full of wisdom, and full of life. And that's what the Vedics are. It's India is probably the most invaded country in the world, but one thing they could not do is destroy their faith. Our faith has been destroyed so many times. We've been lied to, as we all know. We've been cheated. So this is the atom. This will take me back to this word. Have we all got the idea now of this? You will see this colour of the yin and yang. These are the only two colours you can have of the yin and yang. You'll see this on a Pepsi can logo if you care to look.
Yeah.
And you'll also see it in the Korean flag. But what it does have is a little bit of white like that going through it, which is showing you the magnetism moving through that creates that particular colour of the yin and the yang. So as long as that's pretty straight. One is analog, one is digital. As you can see, you've got the word ether. Ether is stillness and rest. Ether's everything. Everything comes from the ether. As I said, there's no separation in nature. If you take the word ether, you'll see in it the word earth. Earther, ether. Yeah. You'll also see the word weather within it, because the weather is a disturbance within the medium. Yeah. So Barbie ding ding ding, perturbation, yeah, rate of induction, magnetism. We'll leave this word here, Mary Magdalene. As you can see, as I said, mag means to move longitudinally. Have we got a cloth trace?
Where's that rubber gone? It's there. Yeah. That's the one. You have to hold the ball because it'll move into the
Right, okie dokie sausage. Not where I was. Right, if Tracy would like to draw me a hyperbola.
What?
A hyperbola.
What?
Right, okay. No worries.
God, you're elegant.
Let's see if I can draw one for you.
Tell me what it is because I can't. I'm trying to recall.
Hourglass.
Hourglass.
But
That's
I want it more. If you do Trace,
Yeah.
if you do it like that,
Yeah.
and then just put a circle with that, like that, if you see what
So
I
a
mean.
circle at the top.
That's it. Then do
And
your
then like
arrow.
that?
Yeah, that's it, and then one at the bottom. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's
A wine glass.
A double wine glass.
well, isn't that the Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is in the centre of an atom. Look, now you got red.
Blue's over there.
There we go.
Put the pens back in the pot.
So we get this. Do, 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 dee, do, do, dee, do, dee, do. Yeah?
Yeah.
Probably not the best, what's the name of this, but you get the picture. As I said with the atom,
Oh, I might give you a picture of.
as you can see it there. You can see the hourglass in the middle here. Can you see it? Yeah? This is called the hyperbola. The hyperbola. Ball. As in the torus ball. And you get this word, ball. And the word tor. As I said, see how many words ending these. Table. You can see it, ball, 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 ball. Because everything's this. The torus ball, the tor, and the ball. This is how you get the bell tower, with the bell in the tower. So it's the bell and the tor. Please look out for these words, they're in everything.
Not enough.
Also, what you will see in every word, near enough, is this. Ra.
I've got Ra in mine.
Sorry,
The
man.
sun.
Basically, the Egyptian god, the sun god Ra. You'll see this in most words, because Ra is light.
Yeah, you've got
You'll see it in most of our names. In Gary, in Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary.
Hello.
So everything is the ball and the tor. all these come back to one word and one word only, the original word. The atom. In Egyptian, Tom. Sorry, yeah. You got a Tom.
That's a heavy read, isn't it?
Is
It's
it
Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, isn't it?
Atan
Yeah,
or Atan. Do it like that if
Yeah.
you want.
Adoni as well.
Yeah, Adonai. In Greek, it's known as Adonis. This is why most Greek men are called Dennis. Go and get your hair cut tomorrow.
I know an Adonis.
And you know an Adonis.
Yeah, I do.
So Adonis, Atum, Atan. It's all the same thing. Yeah? As I say, the original word will always come back to this word, because all is, as you can see on the back of my t-shirt,
A Tom.
all is a Tom. Because all is
A Tom.
Atum.
The Christos.
The Christos, the lard,
The lamp.
the lamp. How can I explain? We have 7 chakras. As I said, we have the 7 visible planets. We have the 7 chakras. Each chakra has a certain amount of what they call petals. When these petals burst, you'll find the petals add up to 144,000.
Do you want a photo of that with the person sitting?
Yes,
with the
please,
chakras?
Trace. Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, you know the picture that's there now, you know the centre?
Sorry, Derek.
You know the picture that's there now, the centre?
Yes,
That represents the magnet, doesn't it? With
Yes.
the hole in there.
yes,
Electricity.
yes, 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 yes. Same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
Also represent the plane of inertia as well. wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it's the plane of
It'd
inertia
be where Earth is. Well,
where it goes straight through.
that's why it was green as well, wasn't it?
And that's why
where
it's
the
green.
Earth is.
Yes, because that's where the Earth was. That's why that bit was green.
Yeah.
So, as I say, if I miss anything out, thank you, Ronan. Just keep throwing this to the rotor or whatever. Here we go.
Question here, Gary.
This one,
Yes,
Joe?
mate.
How much percentage of our brains do you think we use?
Not enough.
I would say the average person who doesn't actually think and use any what I call syncretism, not what I call syncretism, the sacred words of syncretism, don't put things together. They think ice, water and steam are 3 separate things. So I'd say that's 10% of the human brain. Those who tend to use it a little bit more by using critical thinking.
But that's what raising the chrism is all about. Once you've raised the chrism up to the pineal gland, then that is when all your dormant brain cells will be activated. and you'll be able to use more of your brain capacity.
Here we have the pineal gland. In the pineal gland leaks diametrylene triptyline, DMT. Yeah, this is why we dream. It's like acid.
Yeah,
It's like LSD. You can look at it that way. That's why we dream.
In trees.
That's
every
what I
living
learned with the
thing,
Who breath.
DMT
Yes.
is
When you
produced.
do the breath work,
So
you can
Yeah.
release natural DMT.
You do,
So
yes.
you don't have to.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
leak, I
can
leak,
you
I
have the
leak
breath
it all
work?
day long.
That
I leak
one
it all day long.
without taking drugs.
Yeah, you leak
Yes.
it. On the other side of your brain, you have the
Leak it.
pituitary.
Leak it.
Leak.
Oh.
On the other side of your brain, you have the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland leaks
Lick it if you
serotonin.
want.
Yeah?
in the Bible, it's called the milk and honey. Isn't
Yes, the milk and honey.
The land of milk and honey, as Ronan's just said. yeah?
Wicked.
This is what it is.
Is that good enough?
Through good living. Yeah, that's better. Through good living, white tantra sex, not black tantra, none of
That's
this.
porn and all that, isn't it?
Not
Crap.
porn, not smack my fucking bum and call me Susan. Yeah, none of this. Make love, because that's what it's about. Through this, good living, no overindulgences, no gluttony.
Did you say it's
Yeah.
bad to come?
Yes and no in one respect.
If you're raising the oil,
If you're raising the oil, do not
you
ejaculate. Do not
it's-
ejaculate.
You're not going to.
You can still have an orgasm holding your partner's hand. Because don't look at an orgasm as an explosion of bodily fluids, should we say. Don't look at it that way.
Loretta had a great big one.
Yeah, Loretta, didn't it?
Popped her.
She burst.
She smashed all her pants.
Anyway, going back to the chakras.
That's an orgasm.
Each of these 7 chakras, as I say, represents the planets.
So the red's the heel.
You got Moon. You got Moon, Mercury, Venus,
What
Earth,
concentration levels
Mars,
are like,
Jupiter, Saturn. The 7 visible planets. Yeah?
Can I say them again?
Yeah, I'll say those again. So you've got the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Earth. Earth is in the heart, that's why it's green. If you look outside. Mars is in the throat, is the throat chakra. Jupiter, Saturn. Each one of these has a certain amount of petals. 4, 6, 10, 12, 16, 96, 1000. When these petals are burst through raising the diametrylene, triptyline and the serotonin, which is produced, as I say, in the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, it leaks down the back here, which is the medulla oblongata, down the tree of life, Mount Meru, doesn't matter what you call it, nature doesn't care. Your spinal system.
Is that what they call it? Spinal fluid?
Your serenal spinal fluid,
Yeah.
which goes into the perineum. So with good living, non-gluttony and everything else, good living, good eating, you will raise this oil, which will then smash each chakra. When each chakra is smashed, as I said, they add up to 144,000. When the 144,000 petals burst, this is when you stand on Mount Sinai singing a whole different tune. And that's what we're going through in this period of time.
So, to anyone that doesn't understand that, basically you've ascended to your higher level. And
You
you're not
ascend to your
looking at
higher
things
level.
as how you saw them before. Nothing
That's
else
right.
matters.
Nothing
Basically
like
coming out of the animal instincts of yourself and coming up into the head where you can use
So
your
how do we
mind.
determine
how is
exactly
it
where we are
working?
now?
in what respect? Where the oil is?
Yeah, how would we determine?
I would
that?
I
say
don't know.
But I'd say in the respect
I'd
that
say
you're
I
even
felt
here,
like
is showing
the
that
oil
you're
up.
smashing
I
through.
don't
You're
know if
You
smashing
want to
can
know.
feel, but
Yeah.
it takes a
you can
while.
actually
Yeah.
feel
I mean,
oil
I
travelling through, like,
personally,
your spine and that
I
when you're
think I've
meditating and
smashed
things
my
like
lower
that.
I find
chakras,
it really hard to
which is hell,
Really hard.
because hell is in the
Meditation,
hill.
it can
Don't
be done
forget,
any
hell,
way,
hill,
like,
same
I'm
thing.
meditating right now.
Day, night, winter. If we look at the map here,
meditating
I'll
all the
explain
time.
that a little bit more
Like
to
In
you.
my head,
If you look at the map,
when you say meditate,
This
it
is
means that
good.
You're supposed to clear your head.
This is
not
evil.
think of anything.
This is
But
day,
obviously
this
your
is
head
night,
isn't cleared, is it? Because
this is summer, this is
I get what
winter.
you mean by that, yeah.
Yeah?
I suppose it does mean that.
This is
yeah.
Cain, this is Abel.
Mm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The warring brothers between good and evil, day and night, summer and winter. That's all hell is. There's no place called hell, you don't go nowhere. Yeah? And there's no heaven. Heaven is in the head. Heaven means to heave up, because you heave up the serenal spinal fluid, the oil, and you burst the petals
And
until
then
you get
ascend to the
enlightenment,
highest state.
because you send it up the 33 vertebrae,
33 being Christ.
which is Christ, which is the Christos. The Christos is the oil, the Lord, the lard.
Which is why they said he died when he was
And this
33.
is why he died when he was 33 on the cross.
The cross.
Son dies on the cross. If you look at
If you do that, innit?
the Celtic cross, there's one on a church just up the road here. You'll see a cross and it's got a big circle on it. You must have seen them in
Sun.
churches. Well, it's telling you, I am the sun on the equator
The
and the
solstice.
tropics.
Yeah, Tropic of
Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer. Or the other way around. Yeah? So it's telling you the whole story. It's telling you the whole story. So that's the story basically of your chakra, smashing the chakra, raising the oil, and you will stand on Mount Sinai singing a different tune.
How do we know when we've achieved that though? We're
You
right at
know
the top
it.
of that
Yeah,
pinnacle.
You will
you just
know
go boom.
I would say some 5-6 years ago, something happened to me that was incredible. I don't see depth in the stars. I look up, they're there. When I look at the sun, it's here,
Is it in your head?
because it's in your head. Because all is one. There's no separation. So when you're looking up, you're looking into your own mind. Because all the planets as well are in your mind, in your face, they're everywhere. Yeah? I know it all sounds crazy because you can see an aircraft, and I haven't figured that one out.
Yeah, we spoke about that
Yeah.
on the phone the other
Yeah.
day. We said, well, it's material. Well, it doesn't matter. It's all is Atum.
All is Atum, yeah. You know, you can look up and you can see an aircraft. Well, hang on, there's not an aircraft in my head. But that will all come clear. It is, isn't it?
Was it easy, Jack?
It was easy. It was
I would
easy.
say
Oh, that's gone bust, isn't it?
human creation. That's why it is in us as well.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
we created it while we're here as humans. You know, we used our logic and whatever it is to put that together to create
yeah.
that plane. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it is within us.
It
Yeah,
is
that makes
within us,
sense.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Everything is within, not
Yeah.
without.
Yeah.
If you want to know everything, go within. Don't go without.
As above, so below.
As
within,
above, so-
without.
Yeah,
As the
exactly.
universe, so
Yeah.
the soul.
Yeah. You got a question to ask. Don't go. This is where you said about human brain, how much we use. Well, what do? Straight on Google, straight to the books. Ask, and the answer will come. I don't bother researching anymore. I'm not brilliant at this, I've got to admit, but I don't have to research anymore. I just ask, and the answer will come to me through logic. Because this is why people don't use their brain so much, is because they've lost the logic. Yeah?
Oh, yes.
And to be honest with you, you can see this going on today quite easily. Everyone's riled up. I hate these, I hate them. They're bastards, they're doing this to us. Whoa, forget about it.
What are we talking about now?
Forget about it. I'm not going to go into.
No, let's not.
I don't want to
We're
go
here
into
today
my theory in
for-
chemtrails.
Yeah. Everything
Because
not
it just
to do with
upsets
that.
a lot of truthers. But just use some logic, people. Just use some logic.
They don't encourage that in schools, do they?
Well, no, because they don't want you
They want
to.
you to
Think. That's why they
They
don't.
don't
you
want
down.
you to think.
don't they?
Yeah.
But this
Sit
is
down,
what you
shut
must-
up, and this is how it is. Don't
Well,
question
see,
it.
with schools,
I think it was the Rockefellers that said we want workers and not thinkers.
yeah,
Yes,
workers, not
yes, it
thinkers.
was. And they wrote the national curriculum.
Yeah,
didn't they?
because they teach you just enough to work the wheels of industry, but not enough to question it. Plus, at the age of 5, would you ever question authority? No. So the first thing you're taught at school is 1 and 1 equals 2. This is the alphabet. Oh, and see this plastic round model? This is where you live.
Yeah.
So the little child doesn't question it, just believes everything that teacher tells them. The teacher's not lying to them. The teacher hasn't got a clue. Has not got a clue.
That's how the teacher was taught.
Yeah.
Because that's how the teacher was
passing
taught.
down the story.
And it gets passed down and passed down and passed down and passed
But
down.
teachers should question them, really, shouldn't they?
Yes.
Before they
Well, some
do.
do. Some do.
Yeah,
They should
yeah,
question
yeah,
what they're
absolutely. Yeah.
teaching.
Another thing is as well, I better explain here, is up to 2012 we was in the time of Pisces. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, if you look behind the sun and could see behind the sun, you would see the constellation of Pisces, the fisherman of men, Jesus, Jupiter, Zeus. Now, from roughly 2012, we entered into Aquarius, the water bearer. He's pouring out new life. And this is exactly what is happening now. And the motto of Aquarius is all knowing. And
And that's what's coming, isn't it?
and we're all going through this now, right this moment.
So it's like an age. How long do these ages
It's
last?
roughly about 2004, 2006
Yeah.
years,
So it's the
depending
gold,
where
are
you
we in
read
the
it.
golden age now?
We're in the golden age now.
Yes.
We're in the time of Aquarius with
Yeah.
the water berries pouring out new life to us.
So we're lucky that this change happened in our lifetime.
Oh God,
really.
yeah! What a time to
Yeah.
be
They
alive.
knew
Yeah.
this was going to happen.
They were
Yeah.
telling us in the Bible when they said when the man with the pitcher of water comes, follow him, and there you will dine with him.
Oh, wow.
Ah,
Makes
right.
sense, yeah.
I've got
Thank you,
goosebumps
Roland.
you've said
Brilliant.
that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, follow the man with the water pitcher.
yeah.
And this is what we're doing. As I say, if you look behind the sun now, 6 o'clock in the morning, there's the constellation of Aquarius, or the energy of the constellation of Aquarius. And he is pouring out new life, and it's such a beautiful place to be.
That's what
People
we're
are becoming
seeing
more
in the
spiritual,
world
they're
today,
looking
because
more
of
after
Aquarius.
themselves.
That is it.
They're
Everyone's
become,
going to be exposed.
yeah, they're becoming what they call
It's an exciting
autodidactic,
time to be alive,
self-educated.
really, isn't it?
Best
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So when you get to that level, like you speak, nothing matters. Don't like people living in that 3D sort of fear world and talking about things to us. When you're on that level, nothing matters because you know
Nothing matters.
We're in this.
See, Ronan came up with a great analogy of this recently, and he told me this, and it just absolutely made sense.
Are you reading that today?
You go through 2 stages of this awakening. I don't like to call it an awakening. I think that's an awful word. To me, it's ascension.
Yeah.
Because we are raising that Christ. We are raising that oil. As Ronan said to me the other week, and it made perfect sense, you go through 2 stages. Hatred for your suppressors.
Yeah.
The people that suppressed us, the people who have changed the Bible, such as Constantine, who took books out of the Bible. Yeah? So I went through myself some 20 years ago, anger. I hated these people. Yeah, because I was jumped on the bandwagon 20 years ago. I won't go into how and why, because that's just a massive story of my life, which is not important. But as Ronan said, you go through this anger and then all of a sudden you want to tip your hat to them. I absolutely, if I met Jacob Rothschild tomorrow, people, I will shake his hand and buy him a coffee. Because I can fool one person. But how do you fool millions?
It's clever, isn't it, what they've done?
Over centuries
Seriously,
and
clever.
centuries and centuries. And they fooled us all.
Yeah.
Because every time someone asked a question through history, they had to make stuff up. Let's think about
keep
this.
that alive.
What keeps all this trillions of tons of water stuck to a spinning ball? Well, hang on. Let's go into Newton now. We've skipped 200 years from Copernicus and the Copernicus revolution to now to Newton's time.
Yeah.
Now they need something. Shit, what do? People are asking questions. I've got a word. It's called gravity. What's gravity? Then along come the fuzzy-haired crackpot Einstein with his theory of relativity. Space time bends space. How ridiculous. Time is just a measure of magnitudes. It contains no matter. It has no properties. It's only a way to keep order. Yeah? In other words, I'll meet you at 3 o'clock under the clock tower. Well, what time's bloody 3 o'clock?
3:30.
So you've all got to be on the same. You've got to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah? And that's how all
But
that
if you
works.
go back to the sort of the olden days and that, and like even with pregnancy and that, they measured their pregnancy by the moon. They didn't have.
Yes.
They didn't have clocks. And
No,
stuff
there was no
back then.
clock. The best time to plant any root veg is on a full moon. And you see how good your veg is. Plant on a full moon all the time. The energy of the moon. Let's talk about the sun and the moon, by the way. I'd like to just mention this.
Shall I?
No, I don't think you have to. We all know what the sun and the moon looks like.
I didn't know if you needed that rubbed out.
Oh, you can rub that out for something maybe
That's
later
the
on.
rubber. Thank
There you
very
go.
much.
Have my rubber, dear.
The sun used to be yellow.
According to George upstairs, the earth is yellow.
No, what shapes the earth?
And what shapes the earth? It's yellow. And that is the greatest answer George could ever give, because it is a great answer.
It is, isn't it?
But anyway, let's look at the sun and the moon. Let's take the moon first. The moon is cold, damp, silver. It's putrefying. You leave half an orange out. Tonight, on that full moon, on a clear night, you see the state of that orange in the morning.
Septic.
It's septic. It's horrible. The moon will also increase the combustion of a bonfire. Yeah? Proven, observable, repeatable. The sun is warm, golden, antiseptic, brings life. Yeah? And will decrease the combustion of a bonfire. Try and light a big bonfire on June the 25th when the sun is, or in Leo, at its most powerful during the summer months, and you'll have trouble lighting your fire. It will still light, but it won't combust.
Flame would almost be invisible, though, wouldn't it? That's what it look like.
Yeah.
When the moon's out, it's.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean?
Yeah. And fire's everything. Don't forget fire's an element. Earth, wind. That's sorry, wind. Earth, wind,
yeah.
wind and fire. Yeah, all the 4 elements, and the 5th element, which is the quintessence, which is the ether. Yeah. One thing I didn't describe on this, and I missed out, is each season where they become cardinal fixed mutable. This is also known as the apocalypse. The word apocalypse means to reveal. El Kaido, to reveal, because each month will reveal into the next. Yeah, it makes sense. We only use the word apocalypse from the, I don't know if it was a Cortese film or a Coppola film. Remember the movie Apocalypse,
Yeah.
which was a war film?
Vietnam, wasn't it?
Vietnam. So now it planted everything in people's heads. Like the word Holocaust means burnt offering. Isn't that appropriate? See how everything's been twisted, turned round, everything's backwards. Aleister Crowley was a great man for this, I've got to say. He was a Satanist. If you've not heard of Aleister Crowley, please look him up. He created the moonwalk. Yeah, backwards, because everything goes backwards in their world. Yeah, they've inverted everything. Literally everything they have inverted. I'll tell you what I would like to go on to, which I did miss out. Let's have a look at this, the yin and yang again. Trace, if you'd be so kind. If you
Another
could write,
two?
if you no, just one, please. You can do it in any colour. It doesn't really matter. Whatever floats your boat, dear.
Do you want red and blue?
No,
No,
leave it
just
as
like that,
it
yeah.
doesn't matter. What are they going to talk about?
I've got no idea. You've got the equinox and the solstice there, and you've got the yin and the yang.
Well, yeah, here is the symbol of the earth. As you can see,
Oh yeah, the cross and the.
this is the national symbol for the earth.
This one. Is that Chinese? For Earth, the symbol for Earth.
We're going to play hangman. No, this is a symbol of the earth. A lot of bathroom windows are like this. Have a look at your bathroom window. How many times you see that? Because astrophysiology is everywhere. They're telling you. It's everywhere. In every building. You'll also see this while I'm at this. You'll see this on buildings. It's probably in your own home. It's called the Royal Arch. It'd be over your door. There's your door. I don't know if you've seen that on buildings. Yeah? Well, obviously there's Aries, there's Libra, there's Cancer. And if you look at these, you'll see that Cancer is a block that sticks out, because this is the stone that the Masons rejected. Because the Masons are builders. Yeah? They're builders of gospels, goat spells. Can you see the words? Yeah, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. Let's say that's the first prediction I did of the will of God. You got the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Yeah, they're all there. Because the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, as I said, apocalypse means to open, to reveal. So if this is Capricorn, it will reveal into Aquarius, and that just repeats. So that's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You've got the 4 gospels, the 4 goat spells, and that's that one.
You know the yin and the yang, and you've got that line, the sinusoidal wave. Is that the same thing that's going through that, but the other way?
The side of Sordal.
Yeah, but in the yin and yang, that's the
Yeah.
through the middle of that.
Yeah. Telling you there.
Same thing.
Yeah, turn that on its side and you get the same thing. The sinusoidal wave, which the sun and the moon.
Yeah. That's what it's telling you there.
Yeah.
That's what it's, yeah.
When you look at the sun and the moon, and you look up, the moon actually sits 5 degrees above the sun. The sun travels this path, never veers it. This is the snake in the Garden of Eden. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's the snake. This is why it's called the sin of Eve. Yeah? Going back to your will, you had Saturn. which is what they call the 7th house. The first house is Aries. The 7th house. Where I was? Shit, I must stop smoking. The 7th house is Libra, because this is where Saturn exalts. Yeah? Saturn is the septenary, the 7, that travels around this constellation. The moon also sits 5 degrees below the ecliptic. This is called the ecliptic, the sine wave. So if you look up, when you see the moon and the sun in the sky at the same time, which you obviously should not do on a heliocentric ball, but we do, the moon always sits 5 degrees above and 5 degrees below. This is the symbol for the sun, by the way, so if you see this symbol anywhere, it just represents the sun. Now I can't remember why I got Tracy to do this other yin and yang. Why did I do that? Any idea, people?
What's that?
Why did I get you to write the other yin and yang?
What we thought?
Yeah.
Because it was, oh God, the words at the bottom.
No, sorry. I'm sorry, people.
It's gone from me as well.
Yeah, sorry.
2 secs, it'll come to
I'm only using about 3% of this tiny little brain.
One was, the blue and the red was...
Oh yeah, no, it was just to mark out the 4 Gospels, the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and so on and so forth. I'll just have a look at my list. There might be some other things I can throw in. There's always quite a bit. That goes for that, that goes for that. I've done the invisible light. Dig, 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 dig. What I'd like to talk about is what they call field modalities. In other words, particles have never been proven to exist. There is no bumping particles, never been proven. Same with photons. Photons too have never been proven to exist. In other words, if I gave my friend Ronan here a phone call, photons don't leave my phone and go into Ronan's. So I can't sit there every night and shake out the photons, because they're not there. This is just another way they've tricked us all. Yeah? If we look at it, we like to talk about what they call field modalities. Ice, water, steam, remember? All one thing. It's water. In field modalities, this is how everything works. It becomes force, motion, inertia, acceleration, capacitance, resistance, magnetic permeability, dielectric permittivity. And that's how it all works, people. Magnets, people believe that a magnet draws things to it. Let's have a look at a magnet. Let's say we've got a bar magnet.
You got that round one, Trace?
Yeah. You've got your north and your south pole. Your north and your south pole is not divisible, it stays where it is. So if you cut this up like a piece of salami, the poles do not move. Yeah? If you had a piece of metal, just wipe this bit off, anyone can see that. Let's say you have a little piece of metal. Here's your bar magnet. People, a cobalt magnet, people believe that this is pulling this to that. It's not. It's not how it works. And you can see this under what they call a ferrocell. If you'd like to look into a gentleman called Ken Wheeler, to me one of the greatest men I've ever had the pleasure to listen to. If you can understand Ken, that is, because Ken is very technically speaking, and if you don't understand the words that Ken is talking about, you're going to be lost forever. Most people just switch him off straight away because they think it's word salad. But it's not, it's the true correct words for how things happen. So basically with a magnet, all that wants to happen is this piece of metal wants to get to this point, the null point. Yeah? The null point of stillness and rest. That's all that bit of metal wants to go back into, wants to get there. And how it gets there is you have the what I've called the dialectic, the stillness and rest. What's happening is that piece of metal is saturating the stillness and the rest until it wants to get back to that place. Please check out Ken Wheeler. When you see magnets under ferrous cells, yeah, there you go. There you go. Prime
Here's the
example.
picture of me.
Yeah, I know. We've seen this so many times, haven't we? You know. Wow, that's quite.
That's a good magnet.
I can feel that from here.
But it's not pulling, it's trying to get back to it.
It's trying to get back to the centre.
Yeah.
That's where it wants to go. So when this is going to that, yeah, this is just going through the stillness and rest, saturating the stillness and rest, the dialectic, until it gets back to its non-Pacific point. It's the same. Thank you, Trace. I'll nick that again.
You can nick that.
This is quite a powerful magnet, but it's not. How can I put it? Your spacer in between. See your spacer? The smaller the spacer, the more powerful the magnet. So people go off and they go and buy magnets that are humongous, like that, yeah, and they've got a big spatial area. They're weak, and they moan and go, "Oh, my magnet's weak." Yeah, because you've got the wrong magnet. It's in reverse. See them everywhere.
Need to bring it down a bit to be in the...
Is it in the shop? Yeah. As you can see the torus field here.
Money.
Red shift, blue shift.
That way, but
One going, am I on there? Yeah. One going one way, one going the other. So the owl is very prominent. If you look into Bohemian Grove, please check out Bohemian Grove, why they have a big depiction of an owl. It will all make perfect sense. Yeah, yeah, same thing. Also, what you'll see is this on buildings. You'll see this on columns, and I'll show you this in a minute with the Masonic lodge.
Get it up for you, hon.
Yes, please. You'll see this kind of thing on buildings, on pillars. Yeah?
It's on there.
Whatever the case may be. You'll see this on pillars. I'm not very good at drawing, but what it's showing you is the torus field. Remember? Red shift, blue shift. It's in all architecture, it's everywhere, and once Tracy's got this picture up, which she has.
Up there, hon.
Way, lovely. Oh, I've got something on it. The TV display is unable due to loss of signal from your whatever it is.
Hang on.
just go cocoa.
Where's the chicken?
While I'm at it, while Tracy's sorting that out, I'd like to show you the Earth.
In there.
We're going for remote control.
Yeah.
This is the greatest depiction of the Earth you could ever see. The Earth is a giant electromagnet. Yeah? These are the vibratory energies. The 12 keys and the 7 notes of the diatonic scale. Yeah? And I'll go into some Freemasonry and how it relates to astrotheology, because everything is astrotheology that then comes back to that one word again. All is Atum. Can this disappear?
Well, it can, but the remote's gone missing.
The remote's. Let me get that away from your TV screen.
Yes, please.
Who's got the remote? Who's got the remote?
Everyone stand up.
Yeah, who's got the remote?
Empty your pockets.
Yeah.
No. It was here.
Who can? What? I can pat you down, Maya. Can I pat you down?
I don't have it.
I know you women hide bloody all sorts of things in your bra, don't you?
No, because I'll just feed it actually, yeah.
We've lost the remote control.
Here, I've got it.
Oh, Tracy's got it. She had it all the
You put your
time.
pad on it.
Don't blow me.
There you go. It's a
There
bit
you go.
blurry because I've.
Yeah, can that go?
That's going in a minute.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
fine.
Sorry.
Right. Oh, mine, Jason's full. You're right, Jay.
Oh no!
Jason's in agony, may I say, people, and someone's just wrecked his foot. Right,
You only need to kick it once again.
right. Then we have some,
It's doubled in sizes.
and I can get on with this, and then we can finish this presentation, and then I can have a cup of coffee and a smoke.
Do you like a coffee? I can make
Oh
you
yes,
one.
please,
A coffee?
Trace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course I can.
What I'd like to point out here,
Boy, we're all going
this is a Are we in there? This is a Masonic lodge. As you notice, it's got a black and white checkered floor, just like the yin and yang, the dialectic and the magnetism. They're telling you on here. If you look on a chessboard, you get 64 black and white squares. They're the 64 strands of DNA that are in your body, created through stillness, rest and magnetism. Here we have two columns. This is Boas and this is Jackum. Rahu, Ketu. The moon and the sun. Here in the centre, you usually see an old big bit of rock. This is called the rough ashlar in the Masons' lodges. And on that rough ashlar, you will see the set square and the compass, because they are builders. Yeah, they are masons. They're stone masonry. Use stone masonry. So everything here, there is nothing evil about this picture whatsoever. People look at this picture, oh, they're evil, they're horrible. There's nothing horrible about a Masonic lodge whatsoever. It's all, it's the people in it and the intent.
Yeah, if anything, they're mocking you by putting that in front of you.
Yeah, they're mocking all of
That's
us.
you they're talking about.
Yeah, it's this that they're talking about us, because this is us. This is us.
By the way, you said that was the sun, but that looks like the earth.
Well, this picture is actually the wrong picture. I tried to find, there is one
Yeah, I know what you
that
mean.
gives it all, but that should be the sun, that should be the moon, or vice versa. Yeah, this is how the eclipses work. The moon doesn't go in front. Impossible. Yeah? What happens is here, this is how they can predict the eclipses perfectly when they're going to happen. Because when the sun enters Rahu, Ketu, Boas or Jackum, you get the eclipse. Yeah? And I don't know if is it tonight? Or is it, I can't remember when it is.
There is an eclipse.
I think it's a full lunar eclipse tonight or tomorrow. So basically what's happening is the sun is just disappearing into Ra, Hu and Ketu. Or Boas and Jackum, depending what language you want to use. As I say, you've got the Masonic floor. They like to call it duality, but there is no duality in nature. Yeah, as I said, one is the dialectic, stillness and rest. The other is magnetism to move. So they tell you this on the chessboard, as I said, and it's everything. It's all there. If someone's got a question, because I'm a little bit lost at the moment, so if I get a question, then it will lead into other things.
Did the Masonic Lodge, is it like a descendant from the Knights Templar that was
Yes.
quashed years ago?
Yes. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
All good. The Knights Templar were good people
Yeah.
until they were corrupted.
Yeah.
I went to Rochester last week, where the last stand of the Knights Templar was, where they tortured Jack Delaney for something like 7 years, roasting his testicles.
What, for 7 years?
Well, I don't know if you roasted them for ages or they just done things to him. They tortured him for 7 years. So if you can imagine being tortured for 7 years, it's bad enough being tortured for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But 7 years.
Really, that's why you've got Knights Templar.
This is why you get the Knights Templar. I used to work in the temple. Yeah. I used to work in the temple for a law firm many years ago. And when you walk into the temple, it's like a totally different village. You come off Fleet Street, you go into the temple, and it is perfectly quiet, still. The birds sing and everything. And there's only one place in the world that doesn't have title, and the title is the Templar Church within the temple in Fleet Street. So
I think you should do a tour around London.
I want to do a tour because I'd love to show people the old world,
I'm up for that.
which is all in plain sight. I could take you all to Raynham now and show you all the old world, the megalithic
Yeah,
blocks.
not now.
And everything else that goes there. The old world is so in plain sight. If I was to tell you that the cliffs at Hastings are actually a step pyramid, this was brought to my attention by this man here, Ronan, and I had to go and look.
Where'd you get all your knowledge?
Yeah, that's on YouTube. There's a bloke.
Out the ether.
It just comes to you.
No,
I've
it's
got a lot of
bloke on
time,
YouTube.
so
Ronan is a syncretism like Ronan is a
He knows
syncretist
a lot,
like me.
yeah, I know.
And a ve- and
Cunt,
a
this
ve-
is your coffee.
Don't call me a cunt. Sorry.
It's hot.
Oh yes, I remember the
If anyone
last
saw
one.
part 1 of All Is Atum, bless Gary, didn't see me top up his cup.
Yeah.
And he sprayed it. Right.
So, if you go to Hastings, go to the old town. Go right as far as you can down to the bottom of the ocean. Yeah? And what you'll see is a line of stones, rocks. It goes on for as far as your eye can see. Yeah? To a point. Yeah? Then you'll see the next step. Next step is a step pyramid. The caves at the top are man-made.
yeah, they were just put there.
They were just put there. It's man-made.
Yeah.
It's man-made. It's made of geopolymer. I can go into the word geopolymer. Basically, crushed limestone, crushed red. Can't think of the word. Help me out, Ronan.
Sandstone.
Red sandstone. Thank you. Red sandstone. When it's crushed down, add with water and an aggregate, something like calcium, sodium, or chloride, it will bind all those little bits together.
Pyramids.
Just like they built the pyramids. The pyramids, stones were not cut somewhere else and shipped up from Aswan up the Nile. If that was the case, when you do the calculation of 2.3 million stones, smallest being 6 ton, the largest being 27 ton, 26 ton, 27 ton, and there's 6 of those leading to the king's chamber. Yeah? The only window of opportunity the Egyptians would have had was twice. They had to do it only when the Nile flooded, and it only floods twice a year. And it's a possible job. So as I said, when you do the calculation, it works out that something like each stone was cut, transported, put in situ, one every something like 2.5
So the
minutes.
pyramids are not naturally grown cut. It is moulded on site.
It's
almost.
mould.
Yeah.
It's a mould, like
Yeah.
you would make a bed of concrete.
Yeah.
So you have a box, you put it in. And what they did is sometimes you'll see that a lot of people say, oh, the stones have been
Actually, the
melted.
Russians say
Melted.
It's been melted.
They haven't
It's
melted.
made.
They haven't melted.
They're
What they've
melted.
done is they've made the geopolymer. You use water. The more water you put into it, the smoother it becomes. The less, the rougher it becomes.
So you do believe the pyramids are human made?
Yeah, some people. think
Yeah, I
human
wouldn't
made
say it's an
them.
outside entity in my opinion. I would say it's a form of human, but who knows, I wasn't around during the Younger Dryas period.
Do you think they
So-
were more intelligent than us?
Absolutely, far more intelligent. We can't reconstruct Westminster Westminster Cathedral today. We just don't have it here anymore. So how were these things built? They were built through geopolymer.
They obviously weren't drinking
This
the
is
rock
how they
fluoride
did it.
water,
As I
were
said, when
they?
you see the melted stone, what's happened is they've made the cast, poured it in,
Down there.
then put the next one on top. Once that starts to set, they take the boards away and one's just run into the other. And you can literally see
Sometimes
this.
you can see where it's messed up a bit, and you can see the lining of the board where the wooden board was. Obviously, to put the
Yeah,
mould
you
in,
can
and
see. You can see still the shape of the board.
So what about the golden top then? Because it had a golden top that
Yes,
originally.
it did.
It's not there now.
It was the Greeks, unfortunately.
Yeah, what raided and pillaged.
Raided and pillaged. They took away the. I can't remember what those stones are called now.
Many
The
times.
case stones. Because the pyramids were beautiful white. They're energy towers.
Yeah.
All these old buildings are energy towers because energy was free.
Yeah, that still is.
Yeah, yeah. Energy it still is free for some of us who have got the testicles to go through it and have the knowledge to do it. It's very simple, but I don't want to go down that road today. Brilliant, baby. Churches never had stained glass windows in them. Yeah?
Before, back in the old
Because
days.
if you look at stained glass windows, and I wish I could get a good picture up here,
Were
but
they
it'll take a
empty?
while to get it. Yeah, they're megatrons. Basically megatrons. So when the energy comes in, the electrical energy from stillness and rest, magnetism,
There was no glass there at all.
and there was no glass there at all. So it would spin, energy would spin within those window frames. See how many times you see that shape everywhere.
Is that something to do with Mercury as well?
And Mercury, Mercury's a conductor.
Mercury.
So you had the,
Dynamo.
I can never think of this word, it's a bugger of a word and I can't think of it. Not a megatron, that's a megatron.
Sound resonators.
Yeah, sound resonators. We see them as bandstands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Capacitors.
The root capacitors, there is
Dynamos, is it?
another word.
Dynamo.
Huh?
Vortex dynamo or something, isn't it?
Yeah, you can look at it that way, but there is another word. That doesn't matter. I can never say this. Well, I can say the word, I just can never keep this word in my head for some reason or other. And that's what they were. Mercury, the energy, the magnetism, Mercury, bang. Free electricity, people. Until Rockefeller decided he wanted to put us on the grid. But tip your hat to him. Tip your hat to him.
Yeah, because like the amount
Tip your hat to the Rockefellers.
of
Yeah,
generations
absolutely.
that have fallen.
And the
for it.
Rothschilds.
Yeah.
Tip your hat to them. Absolutely incredible people. They're the ones who could still think. They were number 33 Enlightenment. We lost that. We lost that. They took all that away from us. Lied to us.
That's why they
Twisted
use the
things.
number so much.
That's why they use the numbers. I'd like to actually talk about numerology, but I'm going to need Tracy to do this on the whiteboard for me. When you're ready, Trace.
Oh, I'm just making.
When you're
Does anyone
ready.
else want a drink?
Oh,
I'll have a Coke, please, Trace, if you don't mind.
If you want to know how the world
Cheers.
works, people, please look in terms of numbers and symbols. Once you understand the numerology, as Plato said, once you understand the numbers,
So this age of the Aquarius now is kind of signalling the end of the Rockefellers and the
Yes.
Rothschilds ideologies
Yes,
and
yes.
stuff like that. That's now their days are numbered.
Their days
their
are-
way of what they had for us.
their days
Yeah.
are numbered. If you actually watch the coronation today, you'll see on the coronation that they showed you when so-called Charlie boy was being anointed. They put him behind a screen. That screen they
Yeah.
put him behind to be anointed. Why couldn't they show that like they did in 1953 with the Queen's coronation? But what they put up was a picture of the Last Supper.
Gary?
So my theory is why put up a picture of the Last Supper? They're telling you something. Could it be Charlie's Last Supper?
They put oil on your forehead when you get confirmed, don't they?
Yeah. So anyway, I'll leave that subject because I'm not interested. I don't care what's going on in the world today. All I'm interested in is astrotheology, metaphysics, and knowing who I am
And us.
and who you beautiful people are. And that's all it's about, people. So please get this fear. The greatest way that the governments, the Vatican, because this is where it all comes from, yeah? What is their greatest weapon? Fear.
Yeah.
So when you get the truth of going, oh, these chemtrails are going to kill us, 5Gs are going to kill us, oh, we're all going to die, there's going to be food shortages. Oh, piss off, will ya? Because this then just creates a low vibration. Even though you think, oh, I'm telling the truth, you're still in a low vibration because you think 5G is going to kill you. 5G will kill you, but they will never turn it up. Because if they turn the 5G up, it destroys their empire. Nothing will survive that.
Do you not believe in chemtrails then?
I believe in chemtrails, I can see
But you just
chemtrails.
think we shouldn't focus on it?
Yeah,
because
I
it
mean,
brings
I know I said I didn't want to go into this subject, but this is just my point of view. If I'm wrong, later on I will do a massive live wearing a gorilla suit and I will apologise that I have got my theory totally incorrect.
What is your theory?
My theory on chemtrails,
It's basically mind over matter.
it's mind over matter, literally. Literally.
Your mind is
Right?
above
Let's look at it this way. As far as
So
I
if you think it's
know.
not going to hurt you, it's not going to hurt you.
exactly that.
Exactly, yes. Yes, Maya, yeah. Something can only hurt you if you want it to hurt you.
We're still alive.
We're still alive, exactly.
But we're a lot thicker and a lot unhealthier than what
Yes,
we
we
used
are.
to be.
Right, look at this. Please look at chemtrails just for a second. As far as I know, and people have told me, that chemtrails are happening 25 years ago. If chemtrails have been hitting us for 25 years with barium, cerium and aluminium, that grass every year grows as green as it did when I was 5 years of age.
So I thought chemtrails were described in science as planes cutting through the atmosphere. Okay, so how did we didn't see them for many years? You look up. They were there when we were kids. Then you didn't see them for many years. Then Donald Trump, I was told, quashed this kind of like rule. And now all of a sudden the planes are making chemtrails again.
Yeah.
That's what that makes sense to
I
me.
can see where you're going.
But, yeah.
I can see where you're going with that.
I just can't explain.
Right, let's look at it this way. During the Second World War, the British used aluminium to deflect German radar. Yeah? But an aeroplane today flying from Johannesburg to Amsterdam doesn't land in London by mistake. So what are these chemtrails? What are they spraying? Is it some kind of screen to bring on blue beam? We've all heard that, haven't we? Is it a screen? Every year, outside my window, literally outside my bedroom window, I can lean out and I can pull a leaf off an oak tree. It's that close. Yeah? That oak tree, every year, without fail, has done the self-same thing. Bloomed, blossomed perfectly within 1 degree. Come the autumn, the leaves fall off perfectly on time. Yeah? So what are these chemtrails? I'm not saying I'm right and I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm just doing the other side of the egg.
It's also to do with words as well, because words are spells as well, aren't they?
Words are spells, yeah. Yeah.
We keep fearing, then what you're going to get back from it.
Yeah.
Fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we keep saying all these loving things and we don't fear the chemtrails, then
Nothing
we're
exists
going to
for a
get the
while.
exact same back from it.
You know as well as I
Put it
do.
out to the universe. And
Yeah.
then
You
get
know
that
as well
back.
as I do, Ronan, that we are not that dies. You
I'm not
cannot
this
die.
physical body. I have this physical body.
Exactly. Yeah. You have this physical body. Yeah. Because your spirit lives on. My brother-in-law died some 16 years ago. He's one of my best friends. My sister can't hear his voice. She can't smell his dirty old motorbike jacket. I can.
Thank you, guys.
Because he still talks to me when I want to talk to him. When I want a conversation with him, I will talk to him. And he will talk to me and I can hear him perfectly. Yeah? So we're not that dies, and we are definitely not that we see in the mirror every day. In other words, you look in the mirror every day, there I am, Mr. John Smith. I'm a milkman from Accrington Stanley. No, you're not. They're just the we in you. Can you see? A doctor is not a doctor. That's just an occupation. It's not who he is. You can go all the way along there. Because this is how they've done it. You won't watch a game show. Hello sir, what's your name? Oh, I'm John Smith. I'm from Manchester and I'm a builder. No, you're not. Stop lying. You're none of those. Can you see what I mean? You're just an organism. You're an electrical organism. Let me explain this to you. Electromagnetism. Your brain is an electronic computer. Yeah? Your blood is crystallized electricity called plasma. Yeah? Your body is an electrical organism. And this is what the ancients called God.
I've got something to add here.
Please do.
So when people are considered less intelligent, I say you're not a bright spark.
You're not a bright
So
spark.
therefore you are not
You're
firing
you're-
as much electromagnetism.
Your sinuses are not
There
sparking.
you go.
Can you stop saying that about me?
And this is how they controlled us, made us insignificant. Yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm a Hindu. I'm a Jew. I am every religion there is, because They're all telling you the same story.
They're not separate.
Yeah? I can go out and I can wear my shirt that has Krishna on it, Brahma, and God knows what, yeah? The Hindu. And I wear this. And you want to see the look I get from both religions. Right, they look at you and go, well, why is he wearing a Hindu t-shirt that depicts Hinduism, but he's wearing a Christian cross? Because it's all the same story. Doesn't matter, it's just in a different language. Different parables. Different metaphors. And the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Maharashabhaja, these books and the Torah are just books of absolute beautiful science when you can understand how to read them. They're all telling you about the sun, S-U-N, S-O-N, on the ecliptic, going through the constellations. And the Bible is also telling you about you. Yeah, the earth, Adam, Dan means red. Because he's the earth. We have red blood. It's all
Is that
there.
why Mary Magdalene held the red pebble?
Yeah, well, Mary Magdalene, well, she was probably predicting and showing you that that is the red shift.
The atom.
The red shift.
Yeah.
So anything red and blue is the atom.
Red pill, blue pill.
Red pill, blue pill, you can go on and on and on. Even go on and on about how many times you can see 7 and 12. Sorry, Ro?
The Red Sea,
The Red Sea,
which is our body.
which is our body.
Blood cells is the one.
Blood cells, same thing.
Yeah, blue
Veins,
Blue vein, they're
blue
blue.
veins, red blood.
Yeah.
Got it? It's all there.
It's all there to see, isn't it? When you look at it.
When it's shown, you can see it. There's people who automatically see things. I had to be shown. I was one of those people that had to be shown. Yeah?
Yeah, but that's what you're doing for us today.
And that's what I'm trying to do here. I might have got a few things wrong here today and a little bit backwards, but as long as you get the gist of the lies and the deception that we've all been led. Keep us all in fear. Separate us. If you believe in Allah, you can't believe in Allah, you'll go to hell.
Yeah, but the
But
same.
if you believe in Jesus, God, you'll go to hell. Bah. Create it.
It's like the Christians, so isn't it?
Yeah.
They're all fighting each other,
Yes.
aren't they?
The Christians are all fighting it.
Yeah.
Why do you think the Christians were fighting the lions in the Colosseum?
But don't you think?
What's the lion? The lion is Leo. So kill the light.
But they say, don't they? If you don't believe that Jesus Christ is a physical human being that's going to come down to save you, you're going to go to hell. Which
Yes.
to me is
Yes.
it's cult-like, really.
Yeah. I speak to a lot of Christians
You
who.
don't
I
believe
think the
this.
Catholic Church is very cult.
Yes, I speak to a lot of Christians, a lot of Catholics who will beat me up for saying that Jesus is just another name for the Son. Yeah? And Christ is just another name for the Christos, the oil, the Lord, the Lord.
None of this will be taught in the Bible or
Yeah.
religion or nothing. You have to dissect this information yourself.
You have to. You have to do your own homework. Because if you don't, you're just taking the word of somebody else, and unfortunately that's what the human race have done for 2,600 years. That's why that's why we're in the state we're in now. But so many people are ascending day by day. It is incredible. I can now stand and talk to someone at a bus stop, mention something, maybe what shapes the earth. Well, let's be honest, who knows what shape the earth is? No one's ever seen it in its entirety. So it's endless. Can't be an edge. That's impossible.
I'm working with a 10-year-old boy at the moment that thinks that AI is very, very dangerous. And I
Nice.
think we need to stop it. And most kids are the opposite to that.
Yeah.
It's like
They want to
really
make you
bad what they're
redundant.
doing.
You go into a supermarket today. How many tills are open?
Yeah.
I will queue with one lemon behind two women or whatever that have got literally stacked trolleys. And I get assistant, go, no thank you, that's going to put you out of work. Start thinking, please. And I can be very arrogant and I can be very rude to people because I'm an Aryan. I don't care. I'm in a hurry. Yeah? So I can be very abrupt. And I am abrupt and I can be abrupt because sometimes you've got to be cruel to be kind.
there's a lot of places out there that ain't manned by personnel, like petrol stations. I refuse to use them.
Don't use them.
Card only, no can and no kiosk.
Yeah.
It's
The
like
younger generation are loving it though, aren't they?
Yeah, if you
small
if you can
press
avoid
box.
using cards and your telephones,
And I
please
always
do.
get people behind me saying, "Oh, you could have put that all in online."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "But then this lady won't earn the money from it.
Well, that's why the
She
banks are
won't give
shutting
me the
down.
boxes.
Yeah.
She gives
My
it
grandkids don't want cash now. They're like, no, Grandma, put it on my Go Henry account.
Right. You get a bit of tissue.
There's a rubber there, look.
Thousand sticks in my bag.
Oh, hang on a second.
That's a rubber.
That's a roller. I didn't come that shape when I was a boy. And they come in a packet of 3 again, a trinity. Everything's a trinity. Even packets of Durexes. Where's my little book, because I want to get this perfect. Let's have a look how all this bullshit started in the first place. You had the Venetian Canaanites. They ruled the seas. They were doing tin trade to Britain in the 1st century. This is where it all started from. They were Saturn worshippers. So they worshipped the black planet. Women were told to wear earrings, so they listened to their god, because Saturn is the Lord of the Rings. Yeah? They also, if a man wanted to marry in front of his god, he wore a wedding ring. This is how you get Hollywood. Because from the Venetian Canaanites branched out across Europe, Eastern and Western Europe, and they created different factions, if that's the correct word. And what they did is they created the Celtic Druids. The Celtic Druids, their symbol was a wand, a magic wand. You'll see Jesus in the Bible with a wand. You'll see Harry Potter with a wand.
So a Hollywood wand.
A Hollywood wand. Because holly, if you take a branch of a piece of holly, break it in half, it is the most purest, whitest thing you will ever see.
Hence berry, the holly berry.
The holly berry. There you
That's why
go.
they say
It's all
is a
Hollywood.
place full of
And they're
spells.
still making movies about that today with the Lord of the Rings. Because this is who they worship. This is who they worship. They worship the black planet. Now, I don't know if Saturn was closer years ago, if Saturn was brighter, less bright, I don't know. Those I can't answer. But for some reason, they worship that. Yeah? What I like to do is just show you a family tree, and it'll all make sense. A lot of people think the Illuminati are...
But a loom, it's got loom in it.
It's got loom,
Light.
see? Light. Well,
Illuminati.
the Illuminati are the enlightened ones. But they're only foot soldiers, just like the Masons.
But they know it. They're trying to
Yeah.
tell us not to know it.
Yeah.
Which is what today is.
Yes, could you do that for me, Trace?
Yeah?
Because I know you don't...
What do you want me to do? Draw that up?
Draw that up, and can you read what's written in the boxes?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Is that Italian
Elite
and
means
Sicilian
light
mafia?
as well, too.
Sicilian.
Yeah.
The Sicilian mafia. You alright with this?
Yeah.
Thank you. A lot of people think they're the nuts. They're at the top of the pyramid. No, they're not. They're at the bottom of the pyramid. They're just above us. The Illuminati are the lowest of them all. Yeah. And
Might
this
write that
family.
out for me.
Yes, please do. This family tree will then explain it all. And the hierarchy of the pyramid. The dodecahedron. Would you do your reading? Are you willing to do? It's entirely you, if not. Tracy will do it.
If you want me to, I can.
I'd love you
Like
to
you,
do it.
it's come from you.
It would be such an honour if you did that word.
I'll just read it out. What?
Yeah.
I might have something else to add to it.
Sorry.
Officials.
No. Is that the Vatican office?
Oh, office.
It says, oh yeah, sorry. The Vatican office. Sorry, excuse my writing. This is the family tree of the order. Everything comes back to the Vatican. This is why all roads lead to Rome. The Venetians lived on the water. Where did they move to? They moved to Venice. Venice is on the water because they ruled the water.
What about Amsterdam?
Within maritime admiralty law and all the canals.
With the canals as
yeah,
well.
you don't think Irish navvies with shovels dug out the Amsterdam canals, do you? Massive technology was used there, but we've lost. Please check out some people. As I say, please check out Santos Bonacci if you want to know astrotheology in more depth and a better presentation than obviously this
I'll
is.
write that word back up there.
Yeah, no worries. Please, if you want to know about the atom, magnetism, please look into Ken Wheeler.
I'd get into
The man
Santos
is an
first.
absolute genius and is the first man in history to ever show you magnetism in real time. The other gentleman is the last piece of my puzzle. A Cockney man called Paul Cook. Please check him out. Paul Cook is the last piece of the puzzle. Because it can't go anywhere else. Paul Cook.
Paul Cook and Ken Wheeler, but I'll look up everything else first.
Yeah, Ken Wheeler. As I say, these three people give you three different things. So,
but that's your...
Right, there's your family tree. Thank you, darlings. All starts with the Jesuits. At the moment, we have an Orsini Pope. So the Orsini family, one of the 13 of the bloodline, are ruling at this moment in time. The Jesuits are at the top. Then you have the papal knighthood Vatican office. The papal is not paper, it's papal. It's a papal bull. In other words, what they used to do is they used to skin goats. Kids. Yeah? I mean children, not baby goats. It's the reason Saturn is the goat and you call your children kids. So please refrain from calling your children kids, because every time you do, you give them energy. Yeah? They're children. Well, they're not even children. Children is a legal word. It's just boy and girl. Yeah? So from the Jesuits, you have the papal bull. So what they used to do is write all their rules and that kind of thing on the backs of children. Dry the skin, skin it, screw it up, curse it, and put it in the Vatican vaults. This is how sick these people are. And apparently, they are still there today. It goes back to the Vatican, so you've got the Jesuits out of the Vatican, into the papal bull. You have factions that come off from that, such as the Ninth Circle of the Satanic Cult, the Worldwide Satanic Cult. Come down further, you've got the Italian Sicilian Mafia, and then it branches off from there. You have the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, which is 33, and the Illuminati are at the bottom of the pile. In other words, the Illuminati are your Boris, your Matt Dazalam. It's in the word, think of the word. Who ordered the Midazolam? Well, it was Matt Hancock. It couldn't have been anybody else. Matt Lamb. Can you see the word lamb? It's the Lamb of God. They're mocking. They mocked us all. They mocked us all. Even now,
They're still walking around.
Oh, right. Ding, 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 ding. So that's the family tree and how all that works and how they suppressed us.
The ranking goes beyond the 33 degrees.
Sorry, Verity.
I said it goes beyond the 33.
It goes beyond the 33 degrees. You've got 32 degrees, 33 degrees. Why is it 33? Obviously, Jesus died at 33. You've got 33 columns in your spinal, in your spine. Yeah? Also, when you measure, I've not done this so I can't confirm it, people have measured the sun with a sextant and other instruments, and it goes from 33 miles wide to 32 miles wide. And it is definitely not 93 million miles away.
No.
The Puscular race proves this. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. I'd like, can you, please? I'm not finished yet, but
Premature.
I'm definitely not finished yet. There's not much more of this presentation. I'm not going to
Would it
present
work in
anymore.
here though at the end?
Sorry,
Dowsing.
darlings?
Dowsing.
No.
No, it's too much energy.
No, take no notice of dowsing.
Right.
Don't take no notice of dowsing. Right,
Ronan.
Ronan, I'd like to introduce a very dear friend of mine called Ronan, who's got a few words, and please listen to this man.
Yeah, basically just wanted to tell you all that.
We need to go that way a bit.
Tell you all
Perfect.
that what Gary's been talking about today, there's actually 12 processes that link to alchemy as well. So there's 12 alchemical processes. I'll go through the 12 now. So there's 12 stages for the 12 zodiacs. Aries being the first and is calcination. Then Taurus, which is coagulation or congulation. Gemini is fixation. Cancer is dissolution. Leo is digestion. Virgo is distillation. Libra is sublimation. Scorpio is separation. Sagittarius is incineration. Capricorn is fermentation. Aquarius is multiplication. And Pisces is projection. So basically these 12 alchemical transformations are what happens inside of the laboratory, aka the body, when they are looking for the first cause or the fifth element. The spirit and... Sorry. It's attempting to use the outer laboratory as a replica of what is taking place on an internal level. So how do we begin the process of calcination? At Aries, March 21st, spring, we begin to self-actualize and improve ourselves where we want to eliminate bad habits or our egos. We begin to retain our sexual energy and rise it up the spine like a staff. So we use our fire and retain it. By doing this, we heat up our canals, and this starts the cooking process, which allows the first process to begin. As we start to attempt to purify our minds, bodies and emotions, lots of inner aggregates from the subconscious mind will rise to the surface. This is exactly what this is exactly what takes place in the alchemical process of calcination. It's a quote from Manly P. Hall. These 12 are linked with the 12 signs of the zodiac in a matter worthy of consideration. And go back to calcination. Basically, calcination refers to a heating solid chemical compound to high temperatures in absence or limited supply of air, oxygen, generally for the purpose of removing impurities or volatile substances and or to incur thermal decomposition. This is when we stand witness, take a look at ourselves and scoop out the impurities. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. We start by purifying our vessels by slowly turning up the heat. This heat is produced from the bottom of the chimney, as we must all know about the stories of Santa Claus by now. We have to retain our sexual energy for a certain amount of time until it starts purifying. This is what starts purifying the tomb, or the physical body. Calcination is also when we start to abstain from limiting belief, bad habits, self-doubt. We begin noticing things about ourselves that are in the way of our true happiness and liberation. We become irritated with some of our behaviour and habits, and we self-reflect. We become more open-minded and see what the Creator has emanated all of this. We start to look at the matrix and society for what it is and start to go within for answers rather than without. We start exercising our cerebrum. In this stage, we create the intent to purify ourselves and live with right intent. This is where we get our first awakening of self-actualization and begin to stop identifying with the body. This is the first awakening when you see the truth of the inner being and recognize the outer matrix for what it is, you will start to question your reality and who you are, just like Neo did in the movie. This is when the pineal glands get stimulated and the cerebrum becomes foggy. In the Bible they call it thunder and lightning. This is where there will be crackling, thunders, lightning and earthquakes. This is talking about possible actual catastrophic events internally or externally. But what it's actually referring to is the head in the heavens, which is our cranium. And when we start awakening up and realizing truly who we are, the pineal gland starts to crackle. It's when the gland starts to resonate and begins to open up ever so slightly, because once you are on the path of initiation, you'll start building up the eternal pressure and heat within the body. This eternal pressure and heat in the body starts vaporizing up the spinal column and activating the pineal gland. This is also when the great wisdom initiates us into the mysteries of creation, mysteries of the soul, and to understand who we are in a sense of where we come from, as it unveils the truth to us little by little. Aries comes from the word arise, as Gary's already mentioned. As we rise to meet our inner shadow, we start purifying our actions and thoughts. This process is when we stand apart from society, and all of this is done with the power of Mars, the ram or the lamb, because of course Aries is ruled by Mars. We heat up our swords in the friction that we create between us and our animal nature. Take conscious action rather than automatic impulses or behaviour. There is an amount of inner friction that takes place. We have to have this inner level of resistance to create the charge, because the human body is like a battery. It's a torus field, and when we use the energies of the lower chakras, they begin to charge the higher chakras through pressure. So this is how we heat up the swords, and with the friction that's created, we sharpen it, and we are able to pierce our animal nature and start to transmute it into divine. We go to war with the dragon to save the princess. We know that Aries and Scorpio are both ruled by Mars. So I'm just going to share the connection there between the two. So now we know there's fire in our brains and there's fire in our genital regions where Scorpio is, as above so below. The battery that we have transmutes the energy from the lower part of the spinal column into the cerebrum, or the cerebrum. So they are intimately connected and created. When you are charging your sexual energy, you are charging your brain glands with the fire in Mars, the warrior god of the planet. The warrior takes the sword into the underworld of Scorpio. The fire in our heads must overcome the fire in our groins. The scorpion is always there tempting us. When we fall into temptation, we experience the scorpion's sting. We have to learn to utilize that fire energy and dominate it with the fire in our brains. So there's an intimate connection there for you to ponder. So as many as the allegories we see, you can see now that they're more real than fact. These 12 alchemical transformations are deeply connected to the 12 zodiacs and the 12 archetypes, as well as the hero's journey. In every myth or heroic tale, there have been the 2 archetypes. For example, the dragon and the hero with the sword that goes up to save the princess. Might be in a castle or a dungeon or something. The sword is none other than the spinal column. We as humans are upright and stand vertical. This allows us to have autonomy over our nervous system and be in control of our animal impulses. Be conscious of this energy that is generated in Scorpio, which in the occult anatomy rules the genital system. The fire rises up to the brain. The lower fire is added onto the higher fires and the lamp is ignited. This is the key to all the allegories and heroic tales. We must descend this fire into the cerebrum, or the higher brain. And that's it.
Lovely. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. So in lead us into temptation and deliver us from evil. That's what it's talking about.
Our Father which art in
Our
heaven.
Father. So
Who is the Father? It's us.
It's us.
Yeah.
And
Who
you've
art
got-
in heaven. Heaven means to heave up.
Yeah.
Give us
Our
our
Father,
daily
who art in
bread.
heaven,
What's the
hallowed
daily
be
bread?
thy name.
What's the bread? Give us our daily bread.
Bread.
Well, what's the bread? Well, it's
That's
the
it,
manna
the
from
goosebumps.
heaven. It's the serenal spinal fluid.
Yeah.
It's all in the stories, people. What I'd like to show you here again is Boaz, Jachem, Rahu, Ketu, the sun and the moon. Here we have the Venus Pisces. Can we get a picture of the cathedral?
Yes.
And then I'll end this presentation on
Yeah.
this part.
Yeah.
That was good, Ryan.
Some of this has been a little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
messy, but
Very knowledgeable.
as long as you've all got the rough idea, and we can see it in here, how we ascend within what they call the Venus Pisces. When Tracy gets a picture of the cathedral up, I'll explain everything on the cathedral. As you can see here, there's the Taurus ball. See the owl's eyes? Is that in there?
A bit more.
This way?
That's it. Perfect.
There's, as you see the owl's eyes, and there it is there, the Taurus ball of red shift, blue shift, centripetal, centrifugal. Do, which everything is a vibration. As you can see it here. You've also got Jesus walking on the water. What's Jesus walking on the water? Well, if you go and have a look, go down the beach today, you'll see Jesus walking on the water in the morning and in the evening. It's the light that goes across the water. As Jesus said, cast your net to the right hand side. Here you have the right hand hemisphere and the left hand hemisphere of the brain. The left hand hemisphere controls all your logic. Don't put your hand in the fire. 1 and 1 equals 2. The right hand hemisphere is you, your aspirations, your dreams, your creativity. Have you, especially ladies do this, they're going out on a Friday night with their friends. They've already decided what dress they're going to wear, what colour shoes they're going to wear with that dress. And just as they go out the door, they go, I want to wear the blue ones. I should have worn that other dress. Why? Because this is the little red devil that pops up on the shoulder from the left hand hemisphere of the brain, trying to confuse you. Go with the right hand hemisphere. As Jesus said, cast your net to the right hand side.
We should all go out naked.
Is that good enough?
I think that there should actually be disposable clothes.
I think
can't
so.
be
We should all
doing
go out
the watching.
naked, yeah.
So it's all on there. Oh, we've got the cathedral. Trace, can we get that any bigger?
Yeah, I did have it. If you bear with me.
I'm not taking my clothes off in front of you.
Oh yeah, bear with me. See.
It's all in the words, people. Always pay attention. If a police officer ever stops you and talks to you, listen to the words he is using. And then counteract those words. Because we all shorten words and we destroy words. Yeah? When you use the correct words for every situation,
Is that good enough?
that is absolutely beautiful. As we can see at the bottom here, I don't know if you can is that picking it up, the doorway?
Not really.
No.
But
Oh, that's
no,
it, Trace, that'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Well,
If people can see that, yeah.
yeah. If you point to it.
Right, here we have the Venus Pisces.
Which is
It represents a vagina.
vagina.
Mary Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene. You'll see this. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a picture of Mary Magdalene within the vagina itself. But you can see it there. There you've got Rahu and Ketu again. Yeah. Boaz and Jachem. Boaz and Jachem. Remember the Sonic Lodge?
Got the pyramid in the middle.
You got the window in the middle. That's the.
You got the dodecahedron there, which is the pyramid. Here, if you count all those, there's probably 64. If you was to squint at the sun, half squint with your eyes, and count the rays that come off the sun, you'll count 12. Keep on squinting, you'll count 64. Just like the 64 squares on the checkerboard within the Masonic Lodge.
And I know this sounds really stupid, but Teletubbies. You know the sun in the sky?
Yes? It's all telling you.
They were telling me
It's
it
telling
had
you
12 rays around it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And each, do you know, there's, how many Teletubbies were there? 4?
4.
Four.
Yeah, the colours.
Right. There's another thing there, but I won't go into it. As you can see, we've got energy towers here. Why put all this elaborate decoration on a cathedral? Because they're energy towers. It's all there in the churches. And when you go in the church, you will see there, you'll see the altar. Why is it called an altar? Because it wants to alter your way of thinking. That's why it's called an altar.
Oh, yeah.
Every altar is in Taurus. So if you take that, have a look at it. If you take a square, a box, open up a box, what do you get? You get a cross. Yeah?
Yes, that's the.
And the altar is always in Taurus.
So if you think of a flat back box, if you fold it out, it's
It
It's
becomes,
net, what the net is.
yeah, it
Yeah.
becomes a cross.
yeah, the cube.
It's all there. It's in our faces, and it's been in our faces for so long. But we was all distracted by TV.
Absolutely. I think that's perfect to wrap that up there.
I'm going to wrap this up because I'm dying for a
Thank you
fag.
so much.
You're more than welcome.
Yay.
Thank you for putting up with me,
And
people.
thank you to everyone that came as well.
I'd like to just say thank you to this beautiful sister of mine, and I love her so much.
You're most welcome. You shared your knowledge with us, so.
No, you shared your home and your food,
Oh, that's fine.
which I'm looking forward to my Thai curry.
I bet you are. I bet you are. Anyway, guys, we're going to end it on that note then. Thank you, Ronan, as well,
Thank you,
for
Ronan.
your contribution. That was amazing.
You
And
and Ronan are going to do
I
more.
we look forward to part 3.
We're going to get our syncretism school
Part
started. in
3.
this
Anyway,
country.
take care, guys. See you
That
soon.
was our goal when I first met this man.